What's up, guys? Kyle Pratt with PlayStation Universe. We're at Devolver Digital's 10th Center Party Block, whatever you want to call it. Checking out some really sweet independent games published by Devolver Digital. We've got a few of these to cover, so I'm going to start with EITR. Now, EITR was first shown in Sony's press conference last night. We only got a brief snippet, right? A very pixelated graphical style, top-down, isometric, action RPG. That's all we kind of know for the time being, but I was able to sit down and play about 15 or 20 minutes of it, and I'm here to report to you. So you can look at EITR as an action RPG in the vein of Diablo, Dark Souls, even Bloodborne, kind of with both old school touches, old school homages in its pixelated graphics, in its D&D borrowed stats like Constitution, Bravery, Luck, and then some of that new school side, some of the counter steps, the dodges, the kind of things that make Dark Souls and Bloodborne very skill-based games. So it's an interesting mesh of those two things. It's all handcrafted. You play as a woman just simply called Shield Maiden, and explore these environments, get involved in really difficult encounters. That's actually a thread that was really prominent in my time in the game, is that it's fairly tough. Not in the kind of punishing way that a Souls game might be, but you're definitely having to learn enemy patterns, learn enemy behavior, adapt to those things on the fly, and react accordingly with your dodges, your steps. But there are some interesting systems at work. So obviously beyond the isometric sort of top-down view, handcrafted RPG style, you've got functions powering that, like the favor system. So you think about the way your character levels in an RPG, you've got your permanent level, 1, 2, 3, where stats raise, and also in EITR, you've got the favor level on top of that. So what will happen is you'll get random loot as items from enemies, bosses, hidden rooms, those kind of things, and you have a choice of what you want to do with those items. You can use the item to gain a stat boost, a hefty stat boost, let's say +5 to every stat, or you can permanently consume that item, set it to raise your permanent level to the next step. So maybe you can use the item to gain +5 to all stats, but when you die, that item's gone, that stat boost is gone, or set it to your permanent level, get bumped up for +3, but those things stay there. So as far as character leveling goes, it's an interesting balance of offense and defense. How risky do you want to play? And the developers promise that, in the vein of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, player skill matters a lot. Even if you're underleveled in an area, you still stand a pretty good chance of getting things done. So visual style looks really cool. Definitely an 8-bit, sort of 16-bit pixelated homage to games of yesteryear. Just want to check through notes for other things to take away. You know, I mentioned the stats, your endurance, your bravery, your valor, agility, all those things. It's hard to get a sense of how that'll play out in the game and to what extent those stats will deepen the RPG experience, but it's nice to see those there in kind of that traditional vein of RPG gameplay. Swords, shields, axes, spears, you're swapping weapons all the time, and the game is still very much in development. You know, the developers told me there's a lot of features they're considering, for example, a social and online component. Not in the game at all yet, but as it's 2016, very vaguely, there's still plenty of time to, say, trade items with other players, or have their minions invade your game, or even have a tower of totally randomly generated content. But the thread of all that is, it feels great, right? So to backstep, to counter, raising your shield to block enemy attacks, seeing those damage numbers pop up over enemy heads, it's tight. I wish the camera had been pulled in a little more. Maybe you can go back and check out the trailers, videos, and see that it's quite pulled out, which makes things appear a little small and a little hard to get a sense of the viscerality of your attacks. So I'd like to see that adjustable. I'd like to see where the development team goes with that. But all things told, my impressions with EITR, an ancient Norse word referring to a toxic poison that infests the game's world, was very positive. I think EITR's definitely a strong element of the indie lineup here at E3 2015, and something that you guys should look for next year. Thanks for watching this Impressions video. We're going to have more from Devolver Digital coming very shortly. We're going to have more from E3 2015 throughout the week, so stay tuned to PSU.